we will see a winner most likely here. No ties.
Yes, no ties on this type of map right now. You just have to move the payload as far as possible. And Leo's Angels right now is a team that practices quite a bit. In Sweden, we have some excellent players. We do know that Etten, who right now is under the name of Stewardess, was the community leader for Team Sweden in the Overwatch World Cup. So I am excited to see what she comes up with. But first, let's see what Lunar Guardians is running with. We do see that dive composition with Kiwi and Saki on everybody's favorite tanks. Well, at least mine. Kiwi's on that Diva, Saki on the beloved Winston. Now, the UFO, the unidentified foreign object, may indeed be Hanzo's Sonic Arrow, which does have a greater radius, as that player is certainly going to be rocking that sniper look. Reggie and Ansku are solidifying this lineup with the Mercy and Ana, so a lot of healing available, maybe not as much utility without that Zenyatta or Lucio to provide speed or that Discord Orb.
Yeah, they might not really need the Discord though, because Leo's Angel also pulling out with Kite on the Widowmaker, so this early composition is all about finding those picks. So these two teams now finally facing each other for the first time, and Ivan, he's not mistaken. Genji will be his pick here as the dive comes through from Leo's Angel. Stewardess, ooh. It's going to be Kite that goes down first. Great shot from Emo Potato, a self-proclaimed hit scan prodigy, by the way. So if you guys are looking for some good dings, look no further here. Big dive coming in once again from Leo's Angel, forcing Lunar Guardians off of the high ground, but Stewardess falls. So again, a man advantage for Lunar Guardians, who have been holding onto this high ground very well. Some good rebound defense to be seen.
Definitely, Leo's Angels was able to move that payload just underneath what we love to call the car wash of Watchpoint Gibraltar, but right now we're seeing phenomenal sniper play coming in from Emo Potato. I'd also like to highlight Ansku with that brilliant biotic nade to save the rest of their team, but the dive is going to be coming in soon with Stewardess starting to tickle Saki with that Tesla cannon.
Goomba Stomp comes in, but immediately gets taken solo. The healing from Zeri's just there. Now the Nano is in. Saki creating a ton of space, simply walking forward, buying that space for UFO to find Livia, and Zeri's falls as well, so no more healing available for Leo's Angels, and that will signal the retreat, even if Saki's angry arms don't force them back into spawn.
Yes, Saki does use that Primal Rage to be able to survive thanks to the help of Red J. She is now fully stocked up. That Winston is ready for this next battle. Let's look at the ultimate situation here, though. The Nano Boost just used by Lunar Guardians is now available on Leo's Angels, and with Etten hopping in, that could be really useful.
Dragons Unleashed here, they're not going to be eaten too much tonight. Everybody from Leo's Angels sidesteps that ultimate quite easily. Ivan has the blade at the ready. Val going to be popped by Red J preemptively. Will he find anyone? The blade is out. He's angry, slice and dicing, but Ansku actually falls to Kite's poison mine of all things. Self-destruct out now will pick up X Ares, so things slightly evening up here, but Kite puts a decisive end to that defense with a headshot through Red J's dome, and again just a scrap now between these two tanks on the point, and it looks like Lunar Guardians might be ceding this space. Saki donates her body to those unrelenting respawn gods, and Leo's Angels will be forging ahead.
Yes, right now we do see so much control of the high ground coming in from Kite. Very little has been contested. Oh, but we do remove both snipers on the side of Lunar Guardians. So right now, Kite will be able to continue her dominance on this Widowmaker. The only ultimates available on both sides is for Emo Potato with that being able to see through walls. It is released right now, and Cupcake takes massive damage.
Oh man, that's a bomb through the choke. Well placed, but though it doesn't pick up any kills, Leo's Angels now have complete control of the high ground, and this payload has been unstopping in its movement underneath his hangar phase right now. Deep dive in from Saki once again, but she's all alone. Manages to take down Livia before falling herself. Emo Potato also picks up Ivan Mistaken, so man advantage will be going to Lunar Guardians as they look for a little bit more value here, trying to buy back that high ground space.
Yes, there's 3 minutes left for Leo's Angels to be able to push this to the second checkpoint. They will have to deal with a huge amount of ultimates, though, coming in from the defense, especially that Dragon Strike from UFO, which might come out momentarily.
Good boop right there from Kiwi. Again, the battle for the high ground here. Saki at the ready. Bubble does burst, so Leo's Angels look like they will claim the top part of this plane Valk out from Xaries as well. Ivan mistaken, taken extremely low. You really want that Genji to stay alive long enough to unleash the blade, but with 2 members already gone from this defense, might not be worth it at this point as Xaries falls from a Goomba Stomp from Saki, and once again, Lunar Guardians holding strong.
Their target prioritization is phenomenal right now, Ham. We do see a lot of the supports of Leo's Angels falling first, or at least quite early, with Saki leaping on top of Liwea at the beginning of that fight with that Primal Rage, taking out all of that burst healing from the Ana. Right now, Infrared Sight is activated. Leo's Angels is just going to wait this out just a little bit before Etten is able to jump in right again.
That's one of the difficult things playing these tanks. You can get chunked down so low by the snipers before you really even engage. There we have the jump in. Stewardess falls down onto the low ground, met immediately by Saki. Dueling ultimates. Bomb picks up 2 from Cupcake as UFO cuts down Cupcake herself. Blade from Ivan going to be the cherry on top. There's a bomb on the high ground. Interesting placement right there from Kiwi. Doesn't find anything except a goose egg. And Leo's Angels, though, still going to be stymied. They've just lost their Ana, but they're trying to make things work out. The Mercy's still at the ready. Ivan taking quite a lot of queen damage on the high ground right now. Red Jay also pops that Valkyrie. It's 2 dueling mons in the air between Xaries and Red Jay. Emo Potato now back in the fight on that McCree as well as the res comes through, bringing Saki back into the fight. Massive purple, though, from Livia. This could be the turning point. Red Jay, for all of her efforts, isn't going to be able to heal up any of those low tanks, but things have once again equalized. No team really drawing ahead until this point. UFO now down for the count. That's 1 less DPS available for Lunar Guardians as the bomb also from Cupcake catches nothing but air. Saki, though, making up for it. Saki with the 3K again by the skin of their toenails. Lunar Guardians hold.
Oh, skins with toenails, Ham. Oh, but I have to once again point out Saki with great awareness. Liwea has been the integral player right now for this watch point, as we have seen that Ana have phenomenal purples, now being forced over to switch over to the Lucio just to get on payload for this last fight. Great awareness from Saki to realize that win condition from Leo's Angels and take it out immediately.
Now we have a couple of ultimates online, but it's not just about what tools you have, but how you use them. Bomb and the Dragons both out. Catches Buff Kiss. High Noon, though, recently buffed. Can it find anything more than the mech? Doesn't look like it, but that's going to be a crucial piece of damage mitigation gone. Might not matter, though, as Ivan taking down 2 members of Lunar Guardians right away, forcing the Valkyrie out from Red Jay, but it doesn't matter. Stewardess now coming alive in the last seconds of overtime. Boy, you know what they say, when the pressure's on, some teams will rise to meet the occasion.
Absolutely, and not only because of all that aggression, they were able to take the point. They now have plenty of ultimates almost ready, and a massive pick onto UFO and Saki. There is a 6v4 on this entire map right now, and right now Lunar Guardians is wisely waiting to regroup. However, Ivan has that Sonic Arrow available and will know where all of these heroes are coming from.
Going to be difficult for Emo Potato to get set up in a place where they can make most usage of this McCree 65% up to the High Noon. Red Jay already has the Valkyrie on hand, might not need it as Saki has popped the Primal Rage, takes down Xaries. This has been a sea of blue so far. Cupcake does even things up fairly, but the res does come through from Red Jay, bringing UFO back in here. You want every ounce of that blade generation, just now sniffing 50%.
Yes, and right now we do see a switch coming in from Kite, who was on that Tracer, did lose that Pulse Bomb ultimate, however, was not able to use that. But Kite will now have a greater sightline to be able to deal with Emo Potato, who is now switched to a Widowmaker of her own. So I'm quite excited to see these dueling Widows.
Bomb out. It's the Red Dragons looking to feast. Neither ultimate really going to find anything. Saki does get brought back, but in the meantime, without that healing, Unsku goes down. Stewardess now finds Emo Potato. That means a free sightline now for Kite, who doesn't have to be worried about being dueled out. The payload so close. Can anybody squeeze out of that spawn? Saki is here, but not for too much longer, as we do have the map completion for Leo's Angels.
Yes, with not much time left to spare. In fact, not at all time left to spare for Leo's Angels. So Lunar Guardian still has an ability to defeat Leo's Angels time by making it with a little extra to spare. We did see great zoning coming in, especially from Etten. Stewart is on this server, on that Winston spawn camping practically. The defense coming in from Lunar Guardians. There's nothing happier when you're playing that Winston and you're able to just primal them out of the way and knowing that you're clearing the area for the rest of your team. So brilliant job coming in from Leo's Angels, but definitely not a defense to be disappointed of.
No, I mean, Gibraltar is one of those maps that you actually, finish out more times than not. So Lunar Guardians keeping Leo's Angels at, just 0 seconds, not too bad at all. Who would you, keep an eye on, Katrina, as we watch this second round? It seems like both sides have had real standout players.
Absolutely. I've been watching the main tanks this entire time, and not just because I am a biased Winston main.
Saki, though? Right?
Oh my god, so good. Absolutely great target prioritization, as I was saying earlier, and great awareness overall. We did see earlier that the Ana on the side of Leo's Angels was able to have free reign on point 2 of watch point. Just great sightlines, purples galore. There was so much anti-healing going on. Saki finally was able to go into primal and first focused that Ana, clearing away the sightline and then getting away for her team to get that second point, ultimately leading to full completion of this map. Now, as we do look at the defense coming in right now, we do have Kite playing the McCree, which we did see being countered for her Tracer earlier. So is she expecting to see a Pharmacy? I'm curious to see how this hero plays out. We also have McCree's former best friend, let's just say, Emo Potato, will be playing Ashe, which means, oh my gosh, it's time for a Bob soon.
Bob, he might just be able to do something. As we see the fight for the high ground devolve now, bubble broken for Leo's Angels, so that's going to be a lot less space that they can take. All of them just hunkered over here around, surrounding Kite, trying to make sure that they stay safe as the payload does make its way down through Car Wash. Emo Potato actually on the low ground, but it doesn't seem to matter. Unsku with a massive purple. That is what we are talking about. Queen of the color purple. Kite, though, does pick up Kiwi, and for all of that early momentum, Lunar Guardians losing so many members, we'll have to go for the full reset.
Yes, even though Ansku did have that brilliant purple, Kiwi tried to capitalize on that jumping in very early, but there wasn't enough follow-up from the rest of Lunar Guardians, calling for that diva to be called out, and then the rest of that fight was just simply in Leo's Angels' hands without the negating ability of that defense matrix.
Lunar Guardians now want to go for a slightly better positioned attack. Everybody on the high ground now trying to take over that space by the blue. Now, Scutus getting forced off, right? It's just a duel of the tanks. A lot of hard eye contact, a lot of tickle damage being done here. Saki's still alive. Kite, if they wait too much longer, this McCree is going to have high news.
Oh, really good jump down coming in from Saki. Now has that primal range available and is going straight for that Zenyatta.
Oh, but Saki finds himself on the wrong side of a 6-shooter. Kite takes down that Winston, and Lunar Guardians now without their main tank gonna falter in their push. This next one, though, looking a little bit better with some ultimates coming online.
Now, interesting hero swap coming in. Saki has decided to switch over to the Reinhardt, and UFO will now go to that Zarya, so we are going to be seeing something a little bit closer to that more familiar heavy tank composition. Emo Potato, oh no, we won't be seeing Bob. Oh,
Make Bob playable, man. Like,
come on.
He's honestly one of my favorite heroes.
I know, so right now, and even though we do see Lunar Guardians completely swapping over to the Reinhardt Zenyatta Goats composition, there were plenty of ultimates almost online, so it is a little frustrating that even though this composition might be better for this situation, they've lost all of this ultimate charge ham.
Yeah, with a little bit more than a minute, this is the time if you do want to make wholesale swaps, you gotta do it here. A great Zarya can build grab within 1 minute, but Kite trying to show them what time it is. Hopefully everybody's wearing watches. No, Emo Potato and Ansku weren't. Stewardess also smashes Red Jay into a froggy pulp against the wall, and Leo's Angels looking set to hold here. The best news is, while they use 2 ultimates to hold, they still have more online.
Yes, they had 5 ultimates at the beginning of the fight, which makes those last second switches from Lunar Guardians even more painful as Kite goes pew-pew into the heads of 2 supports immediately. You probably won't even see a Graviton Surge coming in from UFO, who's only halfway there. And even if we do see one, X Ares and Ivan both have these valid support ultimates that will be able to negate a lot of the follow-up damage. So Lunar Guardians are pretty much stuck between a rock and a hard place coming in right now. Their only win condition is Saki being able to have an incredible Earth Shatter, but with the mobility of Etten and Cupcake, it's going to be tricky to even catch half of this team.
Stewardess already getting put under fire, forced out of the kitchen, but in the meantime, Cupcake finds Ansku. That is going to be so much less healing available here for Lunar Guardians, as Saki's looking for a shatter target, but has to shield up in the face of Cupcake's self-destruct. Big sound barrier comes in, not long enough to save Stewardess, though, as the charge comes in. Doesn't take down Ivan, though, as that is one Earth Shatter down now for Lunar Guardians. High Noon procced here, not going to find anything but Kite's own free all-expenses trip paid back to respawn, as the Transcendence now dies down from Livia. Grab now comes in from UFO, and what a way once again, Lunar Guardians pulling it out in the very last seconds of the map.
Absolutely incredible. They must have heard my doubts, and boy oh boy did they prove me wrong right there.
I'll show you a graph.
Exactly, like you don't think I'm going to build this up? I'm going to build this up and get a full team fight win out of it. Well played coming in from Lunar Guardians, who only have 2 minutes though, but they do have the ultimate advantage with Ansku and Reggie having that Transcendence and Sound Barrier to hopefully not overlap, as right now, Stewardess is the only player on the side of Leo's Angels with an ult. We do see a switch coming on with a Pharmacy, with X-Aries and Ivan Wasted combining to add even more damage.
It is going to be a little bit difficult to chunk through all of these tanks' barriers, as Stewardess finds herself in very deep territory, forced to use the Primal Rage, but in conjunction, Bomb finds X-Aries, and that's going to be one half of the Pharmacy down for the count now. Ivan can't get in a ton of damage anymore, as Saki goes in deep, recognizing that fact, and shatters Livia all the way back to respawn.
I'm curious to see if we will be seeing hero switches from Leo's Angels after that very quick take of point 2. We do see quite a bit of Widowmaker on this last point, which we have seen played quite well. Oh no, Liwea is taken out on that Zenyatta quite quickly.
That's just called an unlucky spawn, folks, but even more unlucky means that not going to be close to that Transcendence, while Ansku already has that in hand. Lunar Guardians looking extremely strong coming into this third point, where this ramp is often here. It's like coated in Crisco. It looks like such a short distance, but it's very difficult to make that corner.
Especially since Ivan will have Rocket Barrage available, with Cupcake even having a self-destruct. We can see these combined for great zoning potential, getting them straight into the rockets coming in from Ivan. But as this fight does continue, we do have a DMAC on Kiwi.
Oh, but rockets come in. Ivan manages to get 2 before going down herself, and that doesn't seem to matter though, because X-Aries is ready with the res on tap. That's 1 defense down for Leo's Angels, 2, maybe 3 more good pushes for Lunar Guardians.
Yes, Lunar Guardians has been extremely patient, almost to a fault, with their support ultimates, with Reggie and Ansku having those vital Transcendence and Sound Barrier available for so long. Now we're at the point where X-Aries and Liwea have a Transcendence and a Valkyrie of their own, so the playing field is less fair now.
Oh no, the hit scan Prodigy getting taken down from spawn. That feels bad right there, and no free do-overs either for Lunar Guardians, who are sticking with the Zenyatta and Lucio. That Zen lets loose that Transcendence right away. That's a big investment into a fight that has to drag on a little bit further if Lunar Guardians want to finish this out. Again, Emo Potato dies at the hands of Kite. Bomb in though. Oh no! That's massive value right here. Now, Cupcake! Goodness gracious, I just love these dueling food name divas. Just gonna put it out there.
Yes, but get on the payload! Get on the payload!
Bodies are on the payload, or rather a Cupcake. Stewardess joins the fray now as Kite makes things even better for the defense with a kill onto Reggie. And again, Emo Potato, that's 3 for 3, man.
Oh, Emo Potato must be feeling very much like one right now, as, oh my goodness, Kite has been dominant on her Widowmaker. I am excited now, though, to see that Ivan is switching off to this Sombra. It's going to be extremely impactful to take away Kiwi's ability to use that defense matrix so Kite can have further free reign with these long sight lines. We do see the Genji coming out now for UFO, but oh, the Earth Shatter comes out too!
Earthshatter and the charge picks off Livia for all of that mind gaming with the Sombra. It doesn't seem to be paying big dividends as again Stewardess takes a big purple as she's forced to primal here. Takes a nap as well. No! Oh, somebody wakes up that angry Wisdom, but she's going to be the only one left on this payload trying to defend it in the very last seconds of overtime. A swift strike makes mincemeat of Ivan, and now there's only a single Lucio versus the world, and that will be Lunar Guardians picking up this map completion.
Yes, both teams are able to defend Watchpoint Gibraltar, taking the offense all the way to overtime. So both teams will have a minute added to their time bank to see how quickly they can push this payload once again. It's a complete clean slate, Ham. Right now, these teams seem pretty even. I'm really excited to see which compositions they decide to run with.
Yeah, this is actually really cool because we've had goats for dinners for so long that seeing kind of like the Hanzo's Widowmaker look is just so refreshing.
Oh,
and
so nice.
What a set of like iron sights for Kite right there. Whew, I mean, I get that you're the defensive Widow. You already kind of set up on the high ground, but picking off Emo Potato's head 3 times in a row, that's just dominance.
It kind of hurts your heart when you're on the other end of that, Ham. But as we do see the defense coming in for Lunar Guardians, it's interesting to see that we will have most likely Ansku on the Ana once again. So another sniper healer able to have these great sight lines. Oh, I'm excited now, Ham. UFO is going to bring out that Mei. Some people call her a demon. I personally love her. Right now, let's see how these walls are able to be used in the relatively open setup of Watchpoint during this first section of the map.
Certainly very interesting. I don't know if UFO are going to be looking to cut Leo's Angels off in these hallways, but it is worth noting that we are on the live patch, folks, so that wall has 100 less health, and this Bastion, courtesy of Cupcake, is going to rip through it in no time. Ooh, this is dangerous for the defense. They came out with Saki on the Winston, but likely not expecting this Bastion, so it has to be an all-in 6-man dive, else Leo's Angels going to be finding themselves in heaven with an easy point A take.
Look at Cupcake's positioning, though, right now, giving her full reign of the defense. Saki is just getting melted right now on that Winston, and as that Mei wall has been nerfed a bit, Cupcake's able to burst through that too.
Oh no, you don't want to be using the Mei wall to try and save yourself from damage because the Bastion eats up walls for breakfast. And what a pointy pincushion Lunar Guardians have been forced to throw themselves onto. 2 seconds left. This is going to be an overtime push for the Angels, but Lunar Guardian is currently still scrambling to find any kind of purchase with this defense.
Yes, Leo's Angels are stealing all of these points like the pirate ship that they are on right now, but Emo Potato! Yes!
There we go!
You finally get revenge onto Kite, but Cupcake takes Saki right out of the strongest counters against this Winston.
This is going to be extremely dangerous. Cupcake has the tank mode at the ready, but Livia is down. Cupcake is down himself, and Leo's Angels now finally look like their miracle run will be put to a stop. UFO coming in here, taking out the Mercy, feeding herself into the face of that Sonic arrow. It's just feels bad.
Num. But
feels good.
Some days, but we are impressed though to see that Leo's Angels was able to take that entire first point thanks to that very well placed Bastion. Interesting, Cupcake was able to get off the payload. Stewardess Etten was pretty much baited for the rest of that dive defense, and when they jumped down onto that payload, Cupcake had free reign to just spray wherever she wanted. So, right now, I'm curious to see if Lunar Guardians will be able to take a page out of Leo's Angels book and run a pirate ship of their own.
Surprise is the name of the game, right, Katrina?
Yeah.
When you have like that win condition, right? When that, yellow box of victory is, you can see it. You know how many fights that's going to be, and you can kind of like meter your ultimate usage. Even consider what kind of crazy cheese comps you might pull right out of spawn just to get you there.
Absolutely, and as we do see, Cupcake will be making another appearance on her Bastion, now accompanied with double sniper with Kite and Ivan on that Hanzo Widow combination. A lot of information is going to be available thanks to that infrared sight ultimate and Hanzo's Sonic Arrow, which has been buffed in the most recent patch. There will be a sniper on the side with Emo Potato once again running that Widow of her own. And we will have a Pharmacy, but that might be a bit difficult to run against Double Sniper.
Double Sniper and a Bastion. Pharah, way back in the day, used to counter Bastions, but with the crossfires and the angles that Leo's Angel can set up, this will be a little bit more difficult for our favorite younger Amari. Of course, though, you also have to remember that Leo's Angels are running Sans a D.Va, so that means no gobbling up any of Unspew's great purples or mitigating any of that rocket damage. Cupcake has to stay constantly mobile in order to keep herself safe because there's not really much shielding to go around. Now we see the shielding breaking for Leo's Angels, but UFO already has to burn the res from Red Jay to get back into the fight. Again, fight for the high ground between Stewardess and Saki. Defense working out so far, but Cupcake is down. That is tons of damage gone now for the defense. Ivan taken out by UFO as well. Emo Potato finds the revenge kill onto Kaidem. Boy, oh boy, just as much as we were hyping up this defense, they fall just as quickly.
Extremely quickly. Great dive coming in from Lunar Guardians. Against all odds, they are able to take out that cheesy Bastion. X Ares is not able to put out the res quick enough, but hey, Kaida is able to contest at the last second. No, Lunar Guardians will indeed be able to tie this out, and they only have a very short amount to move this payload. Cupcake is switching over to the D.Va to make it just in time.
This is very difficult. Leo's Angels forced to give up all of that ultimate charge with these wholesale swaps. Lunar Guardians, they've already popped the Infrasight. They got 3, 4, 5 more ultimates ready. Big anti-nade once again, cutting down Stewardess's effectiveness. She still goes in deep. Kite gets taken down by Emo Potato, so that's a lot less stalling available. Rush! You saw what you were trying to do right there, UFO. Not able to catch the res with that ultimate, but the Valkyrie is popped now by X Ares and Red J. So a big brawl on the point. Self-destruct, trying to clear the air. Not really any shielding, but everybody still manages to duck out of the way, except for Cupcake's big mech. So that's going to be a lot less damage mitigation available for Leo's Angels, who are hoping that this blade will be their savior. A lot of slicing here, not a lot of dicing happening. Kiwi does go down. Sound Barrier layered on top now. Lunar Guardians are running out of options, running out of ultimates, running out of bodies, as that will be Leo's Angels taking Gibraltar.
Yes, Leo's Angels is able to get back on point quick enough, and that fight was so long, so intense that they were able to build up all of the ultimates they had lost from swapping that composition. Ultimately, extremely close map of Watchpoint Gibraltar. I'm so excited to see what these two teams can do next on their next map. It will be Lunar Guardians pick. Oh, ouch.
Oh, did you? Oh man, that is just like, that wasn't even like a fancy jump or anything. You're crashing down from the high ground. Oh, Lavia just cut down in the prime of life, man.
It happens. It happens. It hurts, but we move on. We grow.